Hello there, everyone. I have another video for you today. So I made these holiday Christmas cards that I'm going to be sending out. Hopefully the camera will pick it up, but there's there's a lot going on here. So I used a stencil, and it is one stencil that does 4 different designs at one time. I highly recommend it if you're going to make lots of Christmas cards to send out. So I'm going to show you what I used. It was by Tailored Expressions. So I made this pink version. And so I have some pink ink here. I have some platinum ink here. That's what's kind of creating a little bit of that metallic. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it is really, really pretty in person. And then here on the berries, I used a gray ink, and then I used Gina K Glitz Gel to make them glittery. And then I used a stamp set from Tailored Expressions also for the sentiment. So I'm going to recreate these cards. I made 2 different versions. I made a green version and pink version because I was going to go exclusively with pink just because I love pink holiday. But my sister was here the same day that I was making these, and she says she wanted to see it in green. So I also did it in green. But everything else was the same. I still used the platinum ink. I still used the same Glitz glitter gel and the same gray for the berries and for the sentiment. So after I did this green one, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do both. So I ended up doing both. And I have a record now of the most cards made in one day for myself, my own personal challenge. Of course, I don't want to rush making cards, but on this particular day that I made these cards, I made 39 in one day, which is like, whoa, for me. I've never made that many cards in one day, but I was really focused and dedicated to it the entire day. So I'm not talking about like an 8-hour day. I think I'm talking more like a 12 or 13-hour day. But still, 39 cards in one day. It would have been 40, but I messed up one. So 39 cards in one day. I thought that was pretty amazing. But anyway, so go figure, I made 39 cards, and I looked at my Christmas card list this year, and it's 44. So I thought, okay, do I take 5 people off? Or do I just make more cards? So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to record a video for you and show you how I created my Christmas cards for this year, and also not have to cut my Christmas card list because I don't want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some more cards. And then these envelopes, they happen to match perfectly. I got them on Amazon, so I'll be sure to link them below just in case this is something that you wanna use as well. So let's see, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I hope I have everything here at my desk, but if not, we'll just step away for a second and grab it. So these are the cards I'm gonna be recreating. Okay, so for the stencil, okay, I just realized it's not going to be with all my stencils because it's a large stencil. But while we're here, this is what I use to store my regular 6x6 and smaller stencils. As you can see, it's by Tailored Expressions, and it's just a really great binder. And I keep all my stencils in alphabetical order by maker. But like I mentioned, the stencil that I'm using for the holiday cards is not going to be in here because it's an 8.5 by 11 stencil. So I got this out for no reason, and I got to pull that stencil. So hold on just a second. I believe it's in here. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so here it is right here, and it's all nicely used because I used it like crazy that one day. Okay, so check this out. This is pretty amazing. This has got to be my favorite stencil. Because of the way it's designed, and it's just a beautiful mistletoe stencil. So I'm going to turn it over so you can kind of see what it does. So it is a letter size sheet. So you're creating 4 A2 panels at one time, which is amazing because my Christmas cards vary. They are these 4 different designs that you do at once on one page. So if you have one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, you by the time you're done laying down the 4 different stencils, you will end up with these 4 different panels. Isn't that amazing? So you do one color, then the second color, then the third color, and the fourth. And actually, I didn't use number 4. So you'll see that as we kind of go along and I recreate this card for you guys. But this is genius. I loved using it. It just really made my cards look really nice, and I loved that I didn't have to do 1 at a time. Instead, I did 4 at a time. So that kind of relieves the stress of mass producing your Christmas cards. So I highly recommend this. It's still in stock. I'll be sure to link it below. Okay, so I used that. And then I use, let me grab the paper. I used 325 GSM cardstock. It is a very heavy cardstock. Now, normally this is the cardstock that I use for my card bases, but not only did I use it for my card bases this time, but also for that panel that I'm stenciling on. I just wanted to go nice and heavy and nice. So I believe I'm gonna do this twice because I'm gonna create 8 more cards. How convenient is that? So we'll grab that paper, and then I also used, I'll use this on the opposite side because there's a little spot. I feel like I need to zoom out, but I also don't want to lose the detail that you guys see. So let's see. Let's just kind of clear a little bit of this out of the way, and maybe, there we go. Now you can see a little bit more of that. Okay, so let's see. So I started with my Make Art board, and what I did is, you can see how it's like it can easily slip around my glass surface that I have here. So what I did was I took my waffle flower media mat that's silicone-y and I just placed it under here like this, and then placed this on top, and then it doesn't move. It's perfect, okay? And then I bought extra magnets because, you know, I'm extra. Okay, so what I do is I get one panel like this. Let me go ahead and take these off and put them here on the side. Now, there's another glass mat that I want to get for this card making area in my craft room, and it'll, the glass mat will actually be magnetic, so I don't have to bring out this board. Maybe I can gift it to my sister or something, because she makes cards too. But anyway, I haven't gotten that yet, so. All right, so I tried to bring out the inks that I think I used. So I think I used Distress Oxide peeled paint for the green version, and then I can't remember if I used this Versa Magic pink petunia or if I used this Distress Oxide sponge sugar. I can't remember. Okay, and then for sure I knew I used this Brilliance by Dewdrop in platinum. This is incredible. If you are a card maker, I really feel like you need this in your stash. It is just such a beautiful metallic ink, and I love the way it looked on these holiday cards. Okay, and then for the gray, I used VersaFine Clair in Morning Mist. Okay, and then, so that was for the sentiment and for the berries. Okay, and then I used this Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel for over the berries to add some glitter. Now, luckily I saved this because I'm gonna make a couple more cards. I was gonna throw it away because it's pretty much finished. And so you can go ahead, oh, it's hard to open. I don't wanna make this dirty. So you can go ahead and count on being able to make 40 cards with this if you're doing the same card. But there's just a little bit left, and hopefully it's not too hard. Okay, it's a little on the hard side. It's not as squishy as it was. But I was gonna throw this away, and I thought, well, I'll keep it just to remember that I need another one, because I definitely do want another one of these. So hopefully this is gonna get us through the next 2 panels that we're going to make, 2 sheets in order to make 8 more cards. So I just want to let you know what I'm using. I'm also using, this is a blending brush that I bought on Amazon, so I'll link these as well. And then the other one for the gray. And then I just made these stickers on my silhouette portrait, and O is for Oxide, and then I have another full set that has an eye on it for inks. So I have dye inks and I have Oxides, and I don't want to mix them up, and so I went ahead and put a label here along with the color scheme for that particular blender. So that's what's going on with that. Okay, and then for the sentiment, I used Tailored Expressions again, and their Modern Holiday stamp set, which is this stamp set right here. It's amazing. I love the font. I love how clean and modern looking it is, and so we'll be using this as well. And I think that's it. I think I can go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to grab my stencil. And I didn't use any pixie spray or any adhesive or anything like that. I just used my magnets, and they worked out fine. So on the stencil, there are numbers so you know what order to go in. So right down here, let's see if you can see it, right here, it says 1 at the end. And then it'll say, oops, that's probably upside down, and that's probably upside down. Here, this one says 3 at the end, okay? So you can kind of see that. So, and then these other 2 are gonna be 2 and 4 probably. Yep, so I'm gonna use 1, 2, and 3, and I'm not gonna use 4 because I didn't with my original card. Okay, so this is gonna be 1. And in the instructions, it actually tells you to cut your cardstock to, I believe, 8 by 10.5. Let me double check. Yep, 8 by 10.5. And then what you do is you center it within, there's like a line right here, you can see it. And so that would make it 8 inches wide by 10.5 inches tall. But I don't do that because I like to go like this and stack them. So I don't trim it until after I'm done. But the instructions ask you to, and then ask you to follow this grid line. Well, I kind of feel like centering that grid line onto the stencil could be challenging when you start layering them. As you can see, I'm trying to do that here. So I don't want to be off, so I'm just doing, you know, stacking it at the bottom and just kind of doing it like that. So then I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to put a couple of magnets down to hold this in place. And I'm just putting them anywhere that I don't have open space in the stencil for the ink to go. So I'm just kind of putting it like that. Okay, and I'm realizing I have to be a little bit higher. Let me put the camera a little bit lower so I'm more comfortable working. Okay. So just bear with me. We'll get that like that. And then we'll put these on this side. Just get a little organized here. Okay. And then this over here closer to me so I can more comfortably work. Okay, how's that? All right, so we will do, let's do the pink first. I'm pretty sure I used this spun sugar. Let me see, where are my samples? Did I use that or did I use Versa Magic? I think it was this. Or was it this? Okay, I think it was the Distress Oxide, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my pink blender that I use for oxides, not for inks, and I'm gonna use this. And so I don't even wash them, I just kind of keep using it. Even if I mix various pinks, I just kind of keep using it. But anyway, so I'm just gonna go like this really quick and get the ink in there. And I will go ahead and fast forward so you guys don't have to watch this part and be bored. And when we get to the next part, I'll talk you through that. All right, so now that I finished ink blending the pink part, I am gonna do a green version also. So while this is on here, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of dab off my stencil, some of the extra ink while it's still on here. That way I don't mix too much of it. I'm not gonna get it super, super clean, but I'm just gonna remove a lot of that ink so that I can go in and do my next panel, which is gonna be green with the same stencil. So that's why I'm cleaning it off. Now, how genius is that I'm creating 4 panels at one time? I mean, I just think, oops, I don't want that to come down. I kind of messed up my stencil right there. Okay. Anyway, I just think this is genius. I love that they created this. So when I was ink blending, I started using my fingers to hold the stencil down, and I was like, no. So I don't want to get all inky. And so I just used my microfiber cloth to kind of hold it down as I was ink blending other areas. All right, so we will go ahead, and I'm also going to do the other panel just so that I can be done with this first stencil. But as you can see, you take it off and you end up with this, which is gorgeous. But that's just step 1. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my other sheet here. And we're going to do the same thing, only using green. Okay. All right, so now we'll use green. I'm pretty sure this is the green that I used. Oh, I don't have a green blender. Let me grab it. And it's right here. All right, here we go. All right, so we're done with the green. And we're done with the first stencil. Now, for this part, I'm not gonna rub the ink off because I'm gonna end up just washing this with some dish soap and water. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that like that. And then we'll take this off and hope this is the right green, and it is. Okay, so we're done with this first stencil. So I'll go ahead and put it aside. Okay, so now we're gonna work with the second one. And with the second one, you can see this is just part of the leaves. And I'm just gonna go like this, like I did before. And we're gonna position that. And then this is where I'm gonna use the platinum ink. Okay. This Brilliance Platinum. I just love it. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to share how beautiful this ink is. I think you guys are really gonna like it. And I just think you should add it to your collection because in the example here, so they just used they used a dark green and then they used a lighter green. So they used a light and a dark. So instead of doing that, I just used a color and then platinum. And it worked out really nice. Okay. So I'm gonna take this. Is this what I used? I'm just trying to think if this is the blender that I used, but it had to have been. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so I think we're good with that. I think when I replenish the platinum ink, I'm going to go ahead and get a full size because I know I really love the color and it'll be easier for me to use for ink blending. Okay. Because I felt like it was a little dry, but no, it actually worked out really nice. So I hope that the camera picks it up. It's kind of hard. Let's see. Gosh, it just doesn't do it justice. I wish you could really see it. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Where do I turn the light? Anyway, it's just really pretty, but I feel like maybe my ink pad is dry. Let me see. It's right here. Let me put this right here. Yeah, it's not very saturated, and so it's not as obvious as my other cards, but that's okay. It still works. It really still works. It's really, really pretty. Okay, so then I'm going to take the pink one, and I'm going to do the same thing. It's the same color, so I don't have to worry about wiping it off. And I'm just going to put it here again. These magnets back on. Okay, and then we're going to go through that one more time. All right, so we're done with that. And I went ahead and went straight to the stencil with the pad because it's really dry. I definitely need a new one. Oh, so pretty. I should have done that with the green. Actually, it's not too late. See, here you can kind of see the contrast more. Isn't that really pretty? I mean, the glimmer of the metallic is just really gorgeous. And the camera, of course, is not going to pick that up. But it really is pretty. I think I'm going to go ahead and go back on the green panel and use my ink pad directly onto the paper. Just like I did with the pink towards the end. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I just think it'll be better. So I just, because this is toast, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it and buy myself a full-size ink pad to use for the future. So I'm just kind of trying to work this in there and get the last bit of ink that's on here. And this particular ink, this came like in a pack of 4 with different metallics, like a bronze, a gold, a platinum, and I can't remember what else, but they were metallics. And these are, I believe these are chalk inks. Let me see. No, it just says pigment ink. Yeah, it's just a pigment ink. It's not a chalk ink. Anyway, gosh, they're just so beautiful. So you could even use the gold if you want to go, you know, green and gold or red and gold or anything like that for Christmas. But these Brilliance ones, the colors are gorgeous. So really want to recommend them. All right, so I think that's good. I don't know if you noticed, but also on the stencil, there are these registration marks to make sure. There's one here and there's one up here. And there's actually one right here too. Just to kind of make sure that you're lined up correctly. But you can see through the stencil pretty well. And so it's not that hard to line them up. And then, like I mentioned, if you just use your letter size and just, you know, scoot it all the way to the bottom left, for example, or something like that, you'll be just fine. I definitely recommend cutting your cardstock after down to size instead of before, because I feel like it's easier to line up the stencil. All right, so now we're done with number 2. And again, I will just wash this off in the sink. All right, so we'll put that aside because we're done with that one. Let's see if that made a difference. Okay, it definitely made a difference. I don't know if you could see it now, but it made a difference. So I'm glad I went back to re-ink that. Ah, so pretty. Okay, So now what we're gonna do is the berries. Okay, so the berries I did in the gray, in the VersaFine Clair. It's called Morning Mist. Okay, so we're just gonna get that lined up there. Okay, just like that. All right. Actually, I think this, did I put that there? All right. Okay, so we're just going to be doing a little bit more of ink blending, and then we're going to go to glitter paste. So these berries, which is the third stencil, I am going to use the same color on both panels, but you can kind of see now how nice and easy it is to get 4 cards, or in this case 8 cards, done at one time. So I am wiping off my blending brush that I used, the metallic. I am wiping it off just because I'm sure it picked up some of the green, some of the pink, and then the metallic, and so I'm just going to wipe it off just a little bit, and then use this this gray. And I know Gina K has a really nice gray. So does Hero Arts. I mean, all of them do, I'm sure. But I opted for this one. No, this doesn't seem right. Oh yeah, it is. Yes, it is. It's appearing dark because I don't have the glimmer paste over it. I did use this because I wanted my sentiment to be stamped in VersaFine Clair. It's a very clean ink, and I really like it for that. And so I decided to do these berries in the same color. And actually, I just realized I don't have to go too dark with them or too heavy with them because they're going to be covered in glitter. Now, so I'm using this for these berries right now, and then I'm going to use the exact same stencil to do the glitter paste. So you can use the 4th stencil to do the glitter paste instead and just have kind of a shadow of the berry to be glittery. But I wanted the entire berry to be glittery. And so that's why I opted to go ahead and not use 4 and continue to use number 3. Okay, so a word about the glitter, because I learned. When you are using the glitter paste, or probably any paste, you want to have, like, you know, when they prepare your food order to go and they put it like in a styrofoam tray, you know, that's kind of a square shape or even rectangle, but square shape, and then the lid goes over and it pops into this slit type of thing to close. So if you have a clean one, I would recommend putting some water and some dish soap in it and having it off to the side, because once you use your glitter gel on this stencil and you're done using it, you really want to immediately dunk it into water because if that glitter gel dries onto the stencil, it is going to be very hard to get off. So, which is another reason why I wanted to do this video, is I really just want to help you guys along with this card making process and kind of learn the things that I learned. Oh, so pretty. Oh my gosh, 4 panels at one time. How amazing. Okay, so we're gonna do this pink one next. But anyway, yeah, so you really want to wash that fast. Or, you know, you don't even have to wash it fast. Just get it underwater fast. As fast as you can, because if it dries, you're gonna be sorry. Okay, so also my other piece of advice when you're mass producing cards, especially if you're doing 2 color variations like I am, I'm doing a pink version and a green version, you want to keep kind of the rest of the elements the same, so that you're not, you know, having to do so much work in the whole switching. Like, I mean, I could have done all of these pink and it would have been easier, but you see, doing the green and using the same stencil to do 2 colors, it really didn't take that much time. It was just a matter of wiping the stencil before using it for the next batch. And you can imagine when you mass produce these, you're just going, you're doing panel after panel after panel. I don't go through this whole process for just one panel. I do stencil number 1 on all my panels. And then, change the inks if you want to, and then do stencil number 1 on your next color, and then do stencil number 3 on all of the panels at one time. So that's how I do it. So the glitter, obviously, I did last on all those other cards that I made. I did the glitter last on all of them. And then had some water on standby to dunk that stencil in as soon as possible. And so since I was doing a lot of cards at one time, a lot of panels at one time, because I needed lots of cards, I did, that's how I learned that the glitter paste will get stuck on there. I was doing so many that it, the part that kind of ends up outside of the stencil, like this part, started getting very crusty very fast. So it would have been ideal for me to like do 5 panels and then soak the stencil, wash off the stencil, and then start again with another 5 panels and then wash it. It would have been better for me to do that. Because I didn't, I had to take like a vegetable scrubber to my stencil to really scrub off the glitter paste. I mean, and it was just on there really good. And you'll even notice on this stencil, when I bring it up here, there's still some residue of glitter paste, even with all that prep work that I did. So it's not like foolproof that you're gonna get a nice clean stencil if you dunk it in water, but right here, there's some glitter paste. Let's see if I can scratch it off, but it is there. You could even see on the area that isn't inked, you can see like a little blotch right there. So there's some glitter paste, there's some glitter paste up here. You can kind of see it looks like glue, because the glitter paste, it's glue. It's like glitter glue. So when it dries, it gets hard, just like glue, and it's just not good. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I should have cleaned this while it was on. I can still do it while it's on here. It's just easier because I don't want to get the ink on my board. So I'm just gonna put this on here real quick and just wipe this off. And then everything's gonna be ready for the glitter. That'll be our last step in the whole, with the stencil. Yeah, so you can kind of see like right here where the ink doesn't come off right away, that's paste. That is paste, and I really did like what I could. I think what I'll do when I wash this one is I will use like 409 or something like that to see if I can get it cleaner. Because this is just such a gorgeous stencil. I mean, you can just use it with different colors and just create such a variety of cards. This would even be great for a Christmas gift if you or not Christmas gift, like maybe a Thanksgiving gift. You can give to somebody a set of cards for them to give for Christmas, or even make them thank you cards, because it's just so easy to make multiple. All right, so there's that. And so now that we're at this stage, we're going to do the glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. I don't know why I took it off. Okay. And since I'm just doing 2 panels, I do not have water on standby right now. But as soon as I finish this part, I am gonna pause the video and go take it to my sink, because my sink is empty with no dishes in it. And so it's gonna be perfect. All right, so we're done with all of our ink blending. And just as a reminder, I used peeled paint. I used VersaFine Morning Mist. I used Brilliance in Platinum. And I used Distress Oxide in Spun Sugar. All right, so we're done with all of those. I'm just gonna put them aside here. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna use our Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel. I'm gonna buy another one. And I'm just gonna use, I have a tool here, like spatula tool here somewhere. Okay, here they are. So we're gonna use, I don't know if I wanna use that or a plastic one. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So I just have these spatulas. Hopefully this is going to work, because this consistency that this glitter gel is right now, this is not normal. This is a lot thicker than it normally is, because as I was using it, the jar is open. And since I made so many cards, you know, of course it got thicker because it kind of dried a little bit. So let me see if I can get it from this inside part. Maybe it'll be a little bit more workable. Okay, so I got the glitter gel, and I'm just gonna go like this and make sure it gets in the holes. And I suppose I should shut this, or at least put the lid a little bit on it, so it's not completely exposed to the air. So there's another tip. If you can. Yeah, see, this is not even like spreading the way it should and getting in the holes. The consistency is just different. But that's okay. We're gonna make it work, because this is all I have, and I just need 5 more cards. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get this on there, and I will be right back. right, so we need to work fast because this stuff is drying fast. So I noticed that I like this metal spatula better than the plastic. And when I did the whole batch of Christmas cards, I used plastic. I didn't know that this metal one was going to be better. It's just sturdier. It's not as pliable as the plastic. It doesn't bend as much. So I like it better. Okay. So the reason why I am scraping this on and then off, because you don't want to leave it like this, because when you lift the stencil, and I don't know for sure, this is just kind of my instinct telling me that if I left it like this and did not scrape the excess off and just leave what's in the circle, my guess is when you lift the stencil, it may lift the entire patch of glitter instead of leaving the circles. And so that's why I try to get it into the circle and then scrape the excess. But I don't know, and so if you do know, you can comment below and let us know if that is true or not. That would be cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and instead of fast forwarding this part, I'm gonna go ahead and let you see how long it takes in real time. So what's left to do when I'm done with this part, I'll be done with the stenciling. And I will have to wait for these to dry before I cut them into fourths and before I stamp the sentiment onto them. So, and it doesn't take that long to dry. I mean, it depends. I suppose if you're in a hurry, it takes long to dry. But at the same time, if you're working and you don't want to ruin your stencil and you want to get it into underwater as soon as possible, you'll see that it dries fast. It just depends on how you look at it. It dries fast. Ooh, look at, like I am like almost done with this. It dries fast from the if you're trying not to crust up your stencil, and then it doesn't dry fast enough if you're waiting to cut it and stamp your sentiment. So there you go. Figures, right? Almost done. How fun, right? I mean, I can't believe I made all those cards, but I think because of the process and this stencil kind of, you know, making it easier to create 4 cards at one time, you know, with each kind of step that you have to do, really helped me. So what's going on here? Why is this all weird? There we go. Okay. So, it looks good. It doesn't look great because the consistency has changed. And I'm weird about it, so I'm going through and trying to get more in there while I can. But I really shouldn't worry about it. All right. Okay, and I'm just taking off any excess anywhere where I feel like it's gonna mess up. So I guess we can say this glitter gel makes 48 card panels with this stencil. Not bad. So if you're making more than 48 cards and you're using the same process, grab 2. Oh, and I also use this press and seal. Once I open it for the first time, I use this press and seal to seal it just so that it doesn't dry up on me when I don't use it for a while. So there's another little tip. All right, let's see how this turns out. Ugh. Okay, looks good. I'll show it to you really quick. What do we... Oh, here I have some glitter off on the side, but that's no big deal. It's going to get off. And then we have a little bit of a pile right there. So take that off. And a little bit right there. We'll push it down. It looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's go rinse this stencil and let those dry, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've cleaned off those stencils, washed them and all, so all is good. They're on a drying rack. So I wanted to mention, if you do want to speed up this process and you do not want to wait for these just to air dry by themselves, I have a Ranger heat tool. So this is not an embossing gun. This is a heat tool. So, and this works really nice. You can also speed up the process by just applying a little bit of heat to it. And since we're doing this on camera, we might as well speed up the process so we can cut and stamp. And then I'm noticing that I have my pink panel in front of me over there, and I can see some high places. So kind of feel like I want to make sure that there's no high spots before it's completely dry, because I want it to go through the mail nicely, and I don't want it to like just break off. So when I get to the pink one, but this is drying really fast. Again, if you want to go ahead and just start working, you might want to apply some heat to it to speed up that process. Meanwhile, I'm going to get this stuff off of here. Okay. But the panel looks really nice. You can see in the camera, you can see the platinum ink because it's showing us if it's a different color. So I really love that look. I just think it looks really neat. And you know what also might be a good option? If you don't want to use a metallic ink, you can also just use embossing ink, and it will change half of the leaf to a different color. So you can even do that as well. All right. Or you could, if you wanted to do the berries and you wanted them to shine, but maybe not do the fuss of the glitter gel, you could also use embossing ink and just emboss it with clear powder, and that'll bring a nice little shine to the berries. So, I mean, there are just so many wonderful options with this stencil. I just love it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think we can go ahead and take a paper cutter to that. So let's do this one. Let me see if I can show you what I mean by it has some, some high spots. So if I look at it like this, let's see if I can show you. You can kind of see a high spot right here, right around here. Sorry, it's hard for me to do. There's a couple high spots. So I think what I'm going to do, just take off this glitter off the sides, is I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper here. Let's see. Like this. Actually, it's a scrap cardstock. I'm just going to kind of push it down before I dry it completely, so that those high, I think it's almost even too late. Because the glitter gel was pretty dried out when I used it, it's drying pretty fast, because like this is a high spot and it dried pretty fast. Okay. All right, we'll just work with what we have. And then you'll see how quick these come together. It comes together pretty quick. There you can see the platinum at that angle, you know, because it changed the color of the pink, which is so pretty. It's a lot softer in person. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. I just really, really love this color combination. All right, I think we're good. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut here, do our sentiments, do our layers, and be done. And we don't have to cut anybody off the list. Okay. So I'm just using my Creative Memories paper trimmer here. And actually, I was scoring the other day, so I need to change this blade. I have a scoring blade in here. What's really cool about this is everything gets stored on the underside, which is amazing. So, and I'll get my straight cut here. Actually, the scoring goes here. Okay, turn it back. Oh, and then your extra cutting strips also get stored in here. Isn't that neat? Okay. So put this cutting blade in here. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch off every side. Use my ruler. Okay, so if we're 8.5 here, we're going to do 8 1/4. And then if we're 11 here, we're going to do 10 3/4. Something on there. Okay. And then here we are at 8 1/4, so we're going to do 8. And then 10 1/2. Okay, so if this is 10 1/2, to cut that in half, it's going to be 5 1/4. Wait, is that right? 10 1/2, 5 1/4, yes. Okay, so 5 1/4. This one, if it is, what is this? It is 8, so it's going to be 4. Is that right? I guess so. Yeah, if it's 8, it's got to be 4. Okay. And see, no, that's not even, and that's not right. Okay, so this is 8 inches, right? Because I took off 2/4 of an inch. Yeah, that's right. So why doesn't it look right? Great. Okay. 4. Okay, so is that right? Let me look here. Because here, see how the top is cut off here? So this top should have been cut off. And I can tell this is not centered. Oh. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, this is right, I think. I used a die. I used a stitch die to cut this. Okay, so let's see. Let's look here. Okay, so it is correct. I'm freaking out over here. Okay, there is a gap right here. And then there is a border here, and then there's a border here. Okay, so it doesn't run off the edge. Okay, so these are right. Don't freak out. And then I'm going to cut them again. Okay, so then this is going to be, okay, 1/4 inch. So 8 1/4. By 10.75. Don't you just love math? I'm being sarcastic. Okay, by 8. By 10 1/2. By 5 1/4. By 4. Two, 3, 4. Okay, got them all cut up. We have 8 panels here. We don't need this anymore. Sorry for the shaking. Okay. Okay, so now dies. Now I gotta remember which dies I used. I think I used Gina K, one of her master layouts. So let me go ahead and grab that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So let me go here, foundations. Gina K. It's not 3. Or is it? It's not 4. It's not 8. Okay, so it must be 3. Or where are the other ones? Oh, you know what? I don't think I filed it back. So it must be here on my desk. Let me check. Little card I made. Here it is. Okay, so it's Gina K Master Layouts 2 that I used. I'm so glad I still have this on my desk. Okay, and it's these two rectangles, and they nest really, really nice. Okay, so that's what I used for these two, and then just a card base. Okay, perfect. So now, you know when this is really gonna smash down? When it goes through the embossing machine. Okay, so this is the stitched one. Now I use an Anna Griffin Empress, and I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. I love it very, very much. And so I'll give you a couple of tips for this too, since we're going through this. Why not, right? Okay, so I have my plates here. This is for using slim metal dies. And my bottom plate is nice and clean. I don't cut into this. And then I have my magnetic mat. And then I have a cutting plate that I cut into. And as you can see, it is very, 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 very used on both sides. And the reason why I do this is because it eliminates warping. So I've had these plates for a very long time. I use them all the time, but I only cut into one plate. Okay, so that will be your top plate. And then every once in a while I do have to replace this magnetic mat. And the reason why I have to replace it is because after so many times passing through the die cutting machine, it gets flattened out. Believe it or not. And it starts kind of like spreading like cookie dough. You know, you can kind of see that it kind of changes its shape, and you can see that it gets thinner and thinner, and then you have to use a shim in order to do complete cuts. And so at that point, that's when you should buy another mat. And what's wonderful about this is these mats are only $10 to replace, and they're great mats. They last a really long time because they're really thick. So anyway, I have a couple of these on hand, and then I have an extra plate set on hand just in case, but to tell you the truth, it'll be a very long time before I have to replace these clear plates. But I do have some on hand, and when I do replace it, what I will do is I will discard this one when it's time, and then I will take this bottom one and make it my top cutting plate, and then put one of the brand new plates at the bottom as my clean plate. Okay, so when I buy a set of plates, I'm only using one, because I'm taking the bottom plate, putting it on the top, putting the brand new plate on the bottom, and then discarding this one, if that makes any sense. But I don't have to do that yet. Okay, but that is a really good system to preserve your plates and to really get them to last a really long time. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna position it where I think it should be, just like this. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so that's how I got that to look like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it face down. Okay, I'm gonna put this right over. I'm not putting any tape or anything. It'll be just fine, I think. And then I'm gonna bring it over. And let's see. Yeah, you can see that, right? So here's my cutting machine. Here's my iPad where I can see what I'm filming. So this is on. I just take my cutting plate and I'm gonna run it through. It's going to run through just like that. So it's electric, no clamp, no turning, which I really, really like. And then I'm just going to go on the other side and grab it. Okay. Wonder if this is going to get glitter glue all over my thing. No, it's going to be fine. Okay. So because of the glitter, I have to kind of pry this apart right here because it's like rubbery. And then on some of them I had to cut it. Now the die cut, it cut perfectly. It's just this that is kind of hard to come apart. Okay, so in order to clean that up, I'll just take some scissors and kind of clean that up a little bit. But other than that, this looks really, really beautiful. What a beautiful panel. We're gonna put a sentiment right here and it's gonna look really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and do all 8. Now, some people that have the Anna Griffin Empress, they use their magnetic mat and they cut into the magnetic mat by doing this. And the reason why they do this is so now nothing moves. You don't have to use tape because the metal die is adhering to the magnetic mat. And so you see it won't go anywhere. I don't like to do that because I find that when my magnetic mat gets cuts in it, sometimes during the sandwich process and going through the machine, it kind of embosses those cuts into my card panel, and I don't like that, obviously. So I choose to do it like this and let the die just stick to the mat like that, yet the paper is loose. So again, you could tape in order to prevent any shifting, but I'm not doing that right now. All right. Sticking because of the glue. Okay, so again, we're just gonna kind of get this off of here. Okay, so I'll have to clean that one dot up and a couple on this side, no problem. All right, next one, and see here, this is where you're gonna see that. Let's get the glue off the mat. This is why I had it cut at the top, because I did this. Okay. So I also have, this large Empress, and I also have a mini that's also electric. It looks just like this, but it's tiny. And I love having both. Really love having both, because that little tiny one is just so easy to use for just, you know, A2 size cards. Just really, really easy. So have them both. And when my sister comes over to craft, it works out really good, because she gets a machine on her desk where she works here in my craft room, and then I get one on mine. And we don't have to share. Okay. Another sandwich ready. All right, so we'll just cut all of these. And then we'll go to our next step, which will be stamping. All right, so I'm all done with the die cutting. It's time for stamping. Well, I'm going to clean these up first, but I went ahead and off camera, I cut these silver panels. This is what I matte this with, just like that, really pretty. And then I also cut 2 of these, and you'll see there's one card that is just full stenciling, has no space for a card, and so I went ahead and on the first set of cards that I made, I cut these circles, these stitched circles. And this die set, it comes with the rectangle. Let me see. I thought it came with, oh yeah. It comes with the rectangle, the circles, and then an octagon. And so, and I got this on Amazon. So if it's still available, I will link it below. But this is the seller, and then this is what I believe it was called. Sometimes they have these weird names that really aren't names, and so I just go ahead and put in a name that I will recognize. That's what happens for a lot of times when I shop on Amazon for dies. But anyways, I used this third to the smallest circle die in order to create these 2 here. So I wanted to mention that. And then, so let's see, not all of these need to be cleaned up, but some of them do. Okay, so like this one, just right here on the side. That, and then on this side, it's easier to see if you turn it over. Okay, and then this one looks good. This one looks good. This one looks good. This one needs some repair. Okay, maybe a little bit on this side. Okay, and then this needs just a little bit right here. Okay, and then before I continued to die cut after I had done these, I made sure to wipe down my magnetic mat to make sure there was no glitter residue on there. All right, so now time for stamping. I'm going to use this stamp set, and I'm going to use this ink so that everything matches. And I use a Misty for this part because, well, when I was mass producing, it was just significantly easier to use a stamp positioning tool. But since what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 of each. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and lay these out like this. Okay, and then match up like this. Okay, so this is the one that I am going to use this on, and so I'll probably just stamp this one with an acrylic block, I'm pretty sure. But these ones, in order to get it straight, I think I'm going to go ahead and use the stamp positioning tool, and then it'll be nice for anyone who's just starting card making. It'll be nice to see how you use a stamp positioning tool if you don't know already. And if you do, you can just fast forward on this part. But anyway, what's great about this, and I love the mini Misty. I have the 12 by 12, and I have the regular size, and I have a mini. The 12 by 12 I use when I'm stamping in my planner and I want it to be absolutely perfect. I will use the 12 by 12 to put my planner page in there because that's the only size that fits it. Whenever I'm doing an A2 size panel, I'll use the mini, and whenever I'm stamping something that's larger than A2 but smaller than my planner pages, then I'll use the regular size. Or if I'm stamping multiple things and I need to use multiple platforms, I'll do that too. I'll use those for that. Okay, so I can't remember what I stamped on here, but we're just gonna see. I think All is Merry and Bright is what I used. So in here, I also have a freebie stamp that came with my order, so that's why it says free gift on here. But this is called Modern Holiday, this particular stamp set that I'm gonna use. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this All is Merry and Bright. And what I also do, here's another tip. So a lot of times these clear stamps will come with this plastic piece and the front piece that shows what the stamp looks like. You can separate them. I don't like them separated, so whenever it comes where it's not sealed here at the top, I take some clear packing tape. I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's a piece of clear packing tape that I put a little bit on this side, and then I roll it over to this side so that these two stay together, because like this. Because I have found that if they come apart and I'm using a stamp set and I take it off and put it off to the side, it gets lost because it's clear. And so I just keep it together like this. So whenever they come unattached, I attach them. All right, so we're just gonna take this and we're gonna put this here where I think it looks good. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer to me just so I can see a little bit better. And I think that looks good. Okay, so I have the stamp, you know, where it's right reading, and then I pick it up with this door, and it'll kind of stick on there. It'll stick on the door, not on the panel. Anyway, and then I just nestle this panel right back into the lower left-hand side, so I don't have to use tape or really think. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink up this stamp. Another thing that I'm doing is there's a grid on here. So this will help me also determine if I put it straight or not. And here I'll show you. It's a little bit crooked. So if you look at, well, actually the angle you're seeing at it looks straight, but it's really not. So let me go ahead and fix this a little bit. Now that I know generally where it's supposed to be, it's just got to go a little bit higher on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. A little bit higher on the left, just so that it's straight. Perfect. Okay, so that's a little bit better. All right, so now that I have that there, I can ink this stamp on the door, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to come down like this, and I'm going to stamp it. Just like that. And then I can go ahead and do my next one because it's going to stamp in the same place because this is the same design, but I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it looks good. And then as you can see, when I had so many, it was really easy. I just boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, stamp, 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 right? So these two are done. So then I'm gonna have to move the stamp to accommodate. Let's see, what else did I use? I think that's it for this one maybe, because maybe I used a different stamp for the others. And then I just wipe it with my microfiber cloth and put it back where it goes. And then, let's see, we'll do this one next. Okay, and you can go ahead and use the magnet to hold it in place, but if I always put it in this lower left corner, then I always know where this panel needs to be. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one, the Happy Holidays and a Joyful New Year. I think that's really pretty. This is pretty too. Love and joy come to you. How cute. Have a holly jolly Christmas. That's adorable. But I'm gonna use, that's pretty too. But I like this one, the Happy Holidays and New Year. So I'm gonna use that. And again, I'm gonna get it in the, oh, it's got microfiber lint on it. That's not good from last time. I thought microfiber cloths were not supposed to shed. What happened there? Wow. It's got a lot of microfiber on it. Okay. Well, I don't want that. You can see it has some, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a little bit of microfiber sheddings. Hopefully it won't interfere. We're gonna go ahead and go for it. All right, so I want it in this vicinity from left to right, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it down and then see how it aligns on my Misty here. And it looks like I need to go just a tad higher on the right. So I'm barely gonna lift it. And there, it looks good. All right, so now we can go ahead and stamp. Perfect. And then we can do the next one. Let me just kind of make sure it's going to be, yep, it's going to be perfect. Perfect. All right, and then we have two more for the stamp positioner, and then we're going to do something on our own, I think. We'll see. So let's just lint that up again with this microfiber cloth that has lint on it. Not good. Okay, we'll put this away. And then for this one, what did I use? Oh, I have a sample right here. I happen to have this one. Oh, we used Happy Holidays and a Joyful New Year. Do I want to do that, or do I want to try something else? Because I kind of like this more narrow one. Okay, so I had used something with 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. I think I kind of like 3 lines instead of 4. I really would have liked 2 lines, but I only have the Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, and that is just not for everybody. Love and joy come to you. That's kind of weird. Okay. So I can use, oh, and also wishing you joy of the season. Okay, so this one looks a little bit less tall, so I'm gonna use that. I didn't use it before, but we're gonna use it this time. And I think what I may have done is left more space down here for the sentiment and cut a little bit higher. I think I remember doing that. But we didn't do it this time because I didn't remember that I did that. But that's okay. So really what I want to make sure is left and right, that it's good. And then I will line it up to the grid as soon as I grab it. We're gonna take a look. And actually, it's pretty good. Maybe a little bit higher. No, on the right, but no, I think it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. So this is the beauty of a stamp positioning tool. So I'm sure you can see the benefits And then if you ink too light, you can always stamp it again because it'll stamp in the exact same place. Like here, it says have a holly, and the holly is pretty light. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down again. I don't know if it was a matter of ink or a matter of me just not pressing hard enough, and I think that's perfect now. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then this one will go in. I don't think I'm gonna use the magnet. And then we will ink. Make sure this is good. Stamp. And we are done with that. Okay, so I don't want to use the same sentiment for this circle. No, because it doesn't fit. Get that clean and linty. Sorry, being sarcastic again because I'm mad that this thing is shedding like this. Okay, so what that means, I'm gonna have to clean these stamps with some soap and water just to kind of get that all off. All right, so for the circles, I believe I used All Is Merry and Bright also. Yeah. So we will go ahead and see if we can get it in here. It's just better. Now I don't have to worry about it because it's a circle. I don't have to, oops, sorry, let me get more in frame. I don't have to worry about getting it straight. I can really get it anywhere in the center and it'll be just fine. So I'll just kind of get it there and that should work. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we're all done with the stamping. Now we just have to assemble. Isn't that exciting? We're almost done. Almost done. All right. I'm going to leave these stamps out so that I remember to clean them right because all right, so I will leave these out. Okay, put away the Misty. And I believe I have some card bases done already. We're going to use foam tape and we're going to use glue. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 card bases, which is enough for my Christmas cards, really. I didn't need 8 cards. I needed 6. So this is actually perfect. But if I need the others, I'll go ahead and assemble them. But if not, I will keep them who knows for what. But anyway, okay, so I have my card bases here. And I have some Gina K Connect glue here. And then I have some foam tape. So first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and put these panels, I'm gonna layer these panels, okay? So I'll just kind of do this. Okay, and we'll grab a panel. And this little stand, I think I got it on Etsy. So if I did, I will link it below. But I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and go around like this. And I love using wet glue because I have time to kind of wiggle this around and get it centered before it's permanent. And that looks good. Okay, so we have one. Okay, so now time for foam tape. And then we're done. How nice is that? So, I was gonna, when I was building those, I was thinking of something I was gonna tell you and I can't remember. All right, so now we're gonna take this. We're gonna layer them, but we're gonna add a little bit of dimension with some foam tape. And so I use this 3M foam tape. It used to be a lot bigger, but now it's smaller because I made all my Christmas cards. And so I'm just gonna turn this over and I'm just gonna put 3 strips. And I just kinda guess how wide they need to be. I put one close to the top, one close to the bottom, and then one in the middle. Just like that. And one in the middle. Okay, and then I do that to all the bases, and then I go ahead and I put them, all the panels, and then I go ahead and put them on the base. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I know a lot of the people that follow my channel are planners. I think that's wonderful. I love planning, as you know, if you do follow my channel. And so I kind of think of card making supplies as very interchangeable with planning, with decorative planning, because you could take these dies and you could even make this panel. And you can put it into your planner. You know, you could make this panel maybe a little bit longer for your rings or discs, and you can pop this in there and it'll just look so pretty in your planner. You know, you can also use this as a page, even just to have pictures and some journaling. You know, it doesn't have to be a greeting card. All these supplies can be used to decorate your planner and make it look really nice. I use a lot of pocket dies in my planning decoration, and you know, all of this just can be used in your planner. Even this Happy Holidays and Joyful New Year, you can make yourself a bookmark or a dashboard that has that, or this could be your dashboard. So when you look at these projects, when I do card making projects, think of them from a planning perspective, because it really can be used that way. Die cutting is just, it's just great for decorative planning. So I won't bore you by doing all of these on camera, but I will do just these 2. And then so you can see how these 8 cards came together. It wasn't so bad. Didn't take too long. I don't know exactly what time I started, but when I made the original 39, it really just, it did take the whole entire day. And then some, but it really was one day. It's just, I don't know. I love making handmade cards and sending handmade cards. So I wanted to show you these 2, these final 2. I just think, you know, they're just gorgeous. I love that they're different. I love the pink. I love the green. I love them both. I love the font. I love the stencil. I love all the white. I love the gray instead of black, although black would look very elegant as well. So I just really, really, really love the way these came out. Actually, let me do these full panels with the circle, so you can kind of see how those come out. And let me know in the comments too. I'm curious, which is your favorite, the pink or the green? I couldn't decide, and that's why I did both. And let's see, so far, as far as voting, my best friend wants a pink one, and she wants the mistletoe that's hanging from the top. So she wants that one. And then my sister Yvette wants a green one. She's like, don't send me the pink one, send me the green one. So those are the only 2 people who have seen these holiday cards. Now everybody's gonna see them, but those are the only 2 votes that I got. Actually, when I was making them, I got some votes from my other card making girlfriends because I was torn between adding green or not. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Do you like the more traditional going with the green because it's Christmas cards instead of pink, or are you into pastels like I am, and do you love the pink? So I'm just curious. Okay, so that is popped up, but I'm also gonna pop up these circles so they stand out a little more. So you can put them flat on the card like that, but I like them popped up. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a little piece of this foam tape. for the back of this circle. And actually, I think I'm going to use 2 pieces. I can't remember what I think I used, I didn't use this 3M. I used just some pre-cut foam squares, but we'll go ahead and use this here since it's here. Now this part I do want to get straight. So, and also, let me know how awesome you think this stencil quad is. I mean, it's just like, whoever thought about that, I don't know if Tailored Expressions was the first one to think about it, but they're the first ones that I know of. And if they are, that designer needs a bonus, because this just made my life so easy. Perfect. Ah, so pretty. And I wonder if you have a favorite of this layering stencil, of the 4 card panels that it makes. I'm wondering if you have a favorite. I don't. I'll just let you know that, because I just think they're all so gorgeous. You know, so there's this one, there's this one, there's this one, and this one. There's these 4. All right, well, you guys, it has been fun. I'm glad that all of my holiday cards are done now. I should have counted before I made them, but I didn't count how many I needed. Anyway, I absolutely loved the way they came out. I absolutely loved taking you along for the journey in making these. I hope you learned a couple of tricks that can save you some headache as you make your cards. Grab this stencil set. It is absolutely amazing, and I would love to see what you do with it. So I will talk to you all soon. I hope you have a very happy holidays. I don't know if I'll speak to you or do another video before the holidays, but if I don't, happy holidays to you. Have a very safe and fun one, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.